Hi, kids. It's Brene Buster, my REI secret weapon, and we're going to continue our study of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We're continuing with the action guide by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and we're working on chapter 7, homework, decision, the seventh step toward riches. Decision, the mastery of procrastination. Accurate analysis of more than 25,000 men and women who had experienced failure disclosed the fact that lack of decision was near the top of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. This is no mere statement of a theory, it is a fact. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy that almost every man and woman must conquer. You will have an opportunity to test your capacity to reach quick and definite decisions when you finish reading this book and are ready to put into action the principles you have learned. Analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing those decisions slowly if and when they needed to be changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly, and of changing those decisions quickly and often. One of Henry Ford's most outstanding qualities was his habit of reaching decisions quickly and definitely and changing them slowly. This quality is so pronounced in Ford that it gave him the reputation of being obstinate. This quality prompted Mr. Ford to continue to manufacture his famous Model T, the world's ugliest car, when all of his advisors and many of the purchasers of the car were urging him to change it. Make a habit of reaching decisions quickly and definitely and changing them slowly. Perhaps Mr. Ford delayed too long in making the change, but the other side of the story is that Mr. Ford's firmness of decision yielded a huge fortune before the change in model became necessary. There's little doubt that Mr. Ford's habit of definiteness of decision assumes the proportion of obstinacy, but his quality is preferable to slowness in reaching decisions and quickness in changing them. The majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. They permit newspapers and gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon anyone who will accept them. If you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking, much less in that of transmuting your own desire into money. If you are influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own. When you begin to put into practice the principles described here, reach your own decisions and follow them. Take no one into your confidence except the members of your mastermind group, and be very sure in your selection of this group that you choose only those who will be in complete agreement and harmony with your purpose. Close friends and relatives, while not meaning to do so, often handicap someone with unsolicited opinions and sometimes ridicule, which is meant to be humorous. Thousands of men and women carry inferiority complexes with them all through life because some well-meaning but ignorant person destroyed their confidence through opinions or ridicule. You have a brain and a mind of your own. Use it to reach your own decisions. If you need facts or information from other people to enable you to reach decisions, as you probably will in many instances, acquire these facts or secure the information you need quietly without disclosing your purpose. It is characteristic of people who have only a smattering or a veneer of knowledge to try to give the impression that they have much knowledge. Such people generally do too much talking and too little listening. Keep your eyes and ears wide open and your mouth closed if you wish to acquire the habit of prompt decision making. Those who talk too much do little else. If you talk more than you listen, you not only deprive yourself of many opportunities to accumulate useful knowledge, but you will also disclose your plans and purposes to people who will take great delight in defeating you because they envy you. The value of decisions depends upon the courage required to render them. The value of decisions depends on the courage required to render them. The great decisions, which served as the foundation of civilization, were reached by assuming great risks, which often meant the possibility of death. Abraham Lincoln's decision to issue his famous Proclamation of Emancipation, freeing the slaves, was rendered with full understanding that his act would turn thousands of friends and political supporters against him. He knew, too, that the carrying out of that proclamation would mean death to thousands of men on the battlefield. In the end, it cost Lincoln his life. That required courage. Socrates' decision to drink the cup of poison rather than compromise in his personal belief was a decision of courage. It turned time ahead 1,000 years and gave to people then unborn the right to freedom of thought and of speech. But the greatest decision of all time, as far as any American citizen is concerned anyway, was reached in Philadelphia, July 4th, 1776, when 56 men signed their names to a document that they well knew would bring freedom to all Americans or leave every one of the 56 of them hanging from the gallows. Analyze the events that led to the Declaration of Independence, and you will be convinced that this nation, which now holds a position of commanding respect and power among all nations of the world, was born of a decision created by a mastermind group consisting of 56 men. Note the fact that it was their decision that ensured the success of George Washington's armies, because the spirit of that decision was in the heart of every soldier who fought with him and served as a spiritual power that recognizes no such thing as failure. Note also, with great personal benefit, that the power that gave this nation its freedom is the self-same power that must be used by every individual who becomes self-determining. This power is made up of the principles described in this workbook. It is not difficult to detect in the story of the Declaration of Independence at least 6 of these principles: desire, decision, faith, persistence, the mastermind, and organized planning. Throughout this philosophy is found the suggestion that thought, backed by strong desire, has a tendency to transmute itself into its physical equivalent. Before going further, I wish to leave you with the suggestion that you may find in this story and in the story of the organization of the United States Steel Corporation a perfect description of the method by which thought makes this astounding transformation. In your search for the secret of the method, do not look for a miracle, because you will not find it. You will only find the eternal laws of nature. These laws are available to every person who has the faith and courage to use them. They may be used to bring freedom to a nation or to accumulate riches. There is no charge except the time necessary to understand and appropriate them. Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. Leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. That is the major reason why they are leaders. The world has the habit of making room for those whose words and actions show that they know where they are going. Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely generally get what they want. Indecision is a habit that usually begins when a person is young. The habit takes on permanency as the youth goes through grade school, high school, and even through college without definiteness of purpose. The major weakness of all educational systems is that they neither teach nor encourage the habit of definite decision. It would be beneficial if no college would permit the enrollment of any student unless and until the student declared his or her major purpose in matriculating. It would be of still greater benefit if every student who enters school were compelled to accept training in the habit of decision making and forced to pass a satisfactory examination on this subject before being permitted to advance. The habit of indecision acquired because of the deficiencies in our school systems goes with the student into the occupation chosen, if in fact an occupation is chosen. Generally, the youth just out of school seeks any job, taking the first one found. I venture to say that 98 out of every 100 people working for wages today are in the positions they hold because they lacked the definiteness of decision to plan a definite position and the knowledge of how to choose an employer. Definiteness of decision always requires courage, and sometimes very great courage. The 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence staked their lives on the decision to affix their signatures to that document. The person who reaches a definite decision to procure a particular job and make life pay the price asked does not stake his or her life on that decision. The decision is staked on economic freedom. Financial independence, riches, desirable business, and professional positions are not within reach of the person who neglects or refuses to expect, plan, and demand these things. The person who desires riches in the same spirit that Samuel Adams desired freedom for the colonies is sure to accumulate wealth. In the chapter on organized planning in Think and Grow Rich, you will find complete instructions for marketing every type of personal services. You will also find detailed information on how to choose the employer you prefer and the particular job you desire. These instructions will be of no value to you unless you definitely decide to organize them into a plan of action. Important summary points. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy that everyone must conquer. Analysis of several hundred millionaires showed that every one of them had the habit of making decisions promptly and changing them slowly, if at all. The majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. If you are influenced by the opinion of others, you will have no desires of your own. You have a brain and a mind of your own. Use it to reach your own decisions. Keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth closed if you want to acquire the habit of reaching prompt decisions. The value of decisions often depends on the courage required to make them. The great decisions that serve as the foundation of civilization were reached by assuming great risks, which often meant the possibility of death. Financial independence, riches, desirable business, and professional positions are not within reach of the person who neglects or refuses to expect, plan, and demand these things. Take action. The major causes of failure are listed here. Evaluate each described failure and write down your reaction to each. How many of these are holding you back? Number one, unfavorable heredity background. There is little, if anything, that can be done for people who are born with a deficiency in brain power. This philosophy offers one method of bridging this weakness through the aid of the mastermind. Observe with profit, however, that this is the only one of the 30 causes of failure that may not be easily corrected by any individual. And my response was that it may not be easily corrected, but in many cases, learning disabilities can be overcome. Number two, Lack of a well-defined purpose in life. There is no hope of success for the person who does not have a central purpose or definite goal at which to aim. 98 out of every 100 analyzed had no such aim. Perhaps this was the major cause of their failure. My response is I have been my whole life very goal-oriented and success-driven. I cannot imagine the mental and emotional freedom of simply existing. Nor can I imagine how different my life would be if I didn't have natural ambition with constant attention to my goals. Number 3, insufficient education. This handicap may be overcome with comparative ease. Experience has proven that the best educated people are often those who are known as self-made or self-educated. It takes more than a college degree to make an educated person. Anyone who is educated has learned to get whatever he or she wants in life without violating the rights of others. Education consists not so much of knowledge, but of knowledge effectively and persistently applied. People are not paid merely for what they know, but more particularly for what they do with what they know. My response: I am such a nerd and I love learning. Putting that education and knowledge to work for the people around me really lights up my soul and will continue to build my empire. Number 4, a lack of self-discipline. Discipline comes through self-control. This means that you must control all negative qualities. Before you can control conditions, you must first control yourself. Self-mastery is the hardest job you will ever tackle. If you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by self. You may see at one and the same time both your best friend and your greatest enemy by stepping in front of a mirror. My response is that my family tells me that after all these many years of practicing, I make self-discipline look easy. Number 5, ill health. No person may enjoy outstanding success without good health. Many of the causes of ill health are subject to mastery and control. My answer was that ill is a matter of perspective and severity. I refuse to give up on my lifestyle or my family or my future just because I have multiple sclerosis. Number 6, procrastination. Procrastination is one of the most common causes of failure. Old man procrastination stands within the shadow of every human being, waiting his opportunity to spoil your chances of success. Most of us go through life as failures because we are waiting for the time to be right to start doing something worthwhile. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Better tools will be found as you go along. My response: I know very well that waiting for the right time is a crutch and an excuse to not start, ever. Number 7, lack of persistence. Most of us are good starters, but poor finishers of everything we begin. Moreover, people are prone to give up at the first sign of defeat. There is no substitute for persistence. The person who makes persistence the watchword discovers that old man failure finally becomes tired and departs. Failure cannot cope with persistence. My response: persistence and consistency are clear markers of success. Number 8, a negative personality. There is no hope of success for the person who repels people with a negative personality. Success comes through the application of power, and power is attained through the cooperative efforts of other people. A negative personality will not induce cooperation. My response: I have developed the habit of smiling, even as my face rests. The small adjustment makes me much more approachable and gives people more of a reason to try to do business with me. Number 9, uncontrolled desire for something for nothing. The gambling instinct drives millions of people to failure. Evidence of this may be found in a variety of current events, as well as a study of the Wall Street crash of 1929, during which millions of people tried to make money by gambling on stock margins. My response, I'm not much of a gambler. I hate throwing away my money. And to me, gambling is just throwing away your money. Lotteries, I can do something with that $2, right? Okay. Number 10, lack of a well-defined power of decision. People who succeed reach decisions promptly and change them, if at all, very slowly. People who fail reach decisions, if at all, very slowly and change them frequently and quickly. Indecision and procrastination are twins. Where one is found, the other may usually be found also. Kill off this pair before they completely hog-tie you to the treadmill of failure. My response, I'm not much of a procrastinator. However, I can be rather indecisive if I'm overstimulated by options. When I'm not overwhelmed by options, the slowest element of my decision-making is performing my due diligence, which I think of as being a part of the organized planning. Number 11, one or more of the 6 basic fears. These fears have been analyzed for you in Chapter 14. They must be mastered before you can market your services effectively. My answer is the memories of hunger and lack of basic needs will sometimes show itself as a fear of poverty. I exercise this fear, exorcise, not exercise. I exorcise the fear by remembering the many times that I have started over again from nothing. I welcome criticism that feeds my success. I don't fear ill health. I live it every day, and I will continue to prepare for the days when the ill health worsens and has a stronger hold on my body. I have experienced many broken hearts. You have to feel the pain and stay the course. Life doesn't come to an end. And I don't fear death, only the time of my death. And I want to go before my baby girl's ready. Number 12, overcaution. The person who takes no chances generally has to take whatever is left when others are choosing. Overcaution is as bad as undercaution. Both are extremes to be guarded against. Life itself is filled with the element of chance. My answer, perform your due diligence to prepare for obstacles and challenges and move forward knowing that you have prepared yourself for optimum success. Action is required at some point. You can't just plan, and do nothing. You have to make the step at some point. Number 13, wrong selection of business associates. This is one of the most common causes of failure in business. In marketing personal services, you should use great care to select an employer who will be an inspiration and who is intelligent and successful. We emulate those with whom we associate most closely. Pick an employer worth emulating. My answer, I did. And 21 years, student has surpassed the teacher, and now it's time for me to shine. Number 14, superstition and prejudice. Superstition is a form of fear. It is also a sign of ignorance. People who succeed keep open minds and are afraid of nothing. My response, open-mindedness and innovation will always take you farther than ignorance and limited thinking. Number 15, wrong selection of vocation. No one can succeed in a line of endeavor that you dislike. The most essential step in the marketing of personal services is that of selecting an occupation into which you can throw yourself wholeheartedly. My response was, while I was unable to pursue a career with the FBI, choosing to pursue a career in the legal services has been a very good choice and fit for me. That's why I will continue to provide legal services, just not legal advice or tax advice, right? Number 16, lack of concentration of effort. The jack of all trades seldom is good at any. Concentrate all of your efforts on one definite chief aim. My response, my one definite chief aim is to prepare my daughter for a successful life without me. Some in my circle would say that I try to manage too many things, but they don't know my experiences or how many things outside my control have shaped how I live and how I make the choices that I make. But it has allowed me to be able to be resourceful and pivot when I need to. Things dry up, things go wrong, and you have to be able to keep it moving, right? Number 17, the habit of indiscriminate spending. The spendthrift cannot succeed, mainly because he or she stands eternally in fear of poverty. Form the habit of systematic saving by putting aside a definite percentage of your income. Money in the bank gives you a very safe foundation of courage when bargaining for the sale of personal services. Without money, you must take what one is offered and be glad to get it. This is saying beggars can't be choosers, I think, right? You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. My response, nearly all of my disposable income is invested in my businesses and my real estate assets. I don't generally overspend or spend frivolously or buy expensive things without logical justification. Number 18, lack of enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, you cannot be convincing. Moreover, enthusiasm is contagious, and the person who has it under control is generally welcome in any group of people. My response, lots of folks have accused me of being overly optimistic or enthusiastic, but they don't realize the power of mindset training and the right combination of medication. Number 19, intolerance. The person with a closed mind on any subject seldom gets ahead. Intolerance means that the person has stopped acquiring knowledge. The most damaging forms of intolerance are those connected with religious, racial, and political differences of opinion. Boy, howdy, are we having a lot of political differences of opinion right now, aren't we? My response, again, I love to learn and experience new things. I'm always striving to expand my mind. Number 20, intemperance. The most damaging forms of intemperance are connected with eating, strong drink, and sexual activities. Overindulgence in any of these is fatal to success. My response, my sweet tooth may be strong, but will not get in the way of my success. I'm not giving up on my dreams for a cupcake or a donut. Number 21, inability to cooperate with others. More people lose their positions and their big opportunities in life because of the inability to cooperate than for all other reasons combined. It is a fault that no well-informed business person or leader will tolerate. My response, I love cooperation and collaboration. A team will always outperform a solo practitioner. There is always more power and strength in a group that is moving in the same direction. Number 22, possession of power that was not acquired through self-effort. Let me repeat that. Possession of power that was not acquired through self-effort, meaning sons and daughters of wealthy parents and others who inherit or win money that they did not earn. Power in the hands of someone who did not acquire it gradually is often fatal to success. Quick riches are more dangerous than poverty. My response, I've worked incredibly hard for all of the successes I have achieved. Nothing was given to me by anyone. I may have received help and blessings along the way, but I had to put in the energy and the work in order to achieve the goal. Number 23, intentional dishonesty. There is no substitute for honesty. Someone may be temporarily dishonest by force of circumstances over which he or she has no control without permanent damage, but there is no hope for the person who is dishonest by choice. Sooner or later, the deeds will catch up and the person will pay by loss of reputation and perhaps even loss of liberty. My response, I can't stand a liar. My character and integrity mean more to me than just about anything, and I'm quick to cut out on someone for dishonesty and disrespect. Number 24, egotism and vanity. These two qualities serve as red lights that warn others to keep away. They are fatal to success. My response, obviously, I'm not vain. Sure, lots of you have seen me look quite frightful, a mess, not with my hair not done, stinky clothes, the whole 9 yards. However, some might find my confidence and transparency to resemble arrogance. And I'm okay with that. I paid a lot of money and time grooming my confidence and self-esteem and self-worth. So if someone finds me arrogant, maybe they should find out why I act that way, as opposed to assuming that I think I'm better than someone else, because I don't think I'm better than anyone. Number 25, guessing instead of thinking. Most people are too indifferent or lazy to acquire facts with which to think accurately. They prefer to act on opinions created by guesswork or snap judgments. My response, I've spent 30 years in an industry based on facts and logic. I only guess about things that are unimportant, not life or career choices or decisions. Number 26, lack of capital. This is a common cause of failure among those who start out in business for the first time without sufficient reserve of capital to absorb the shock of their mistakes and to carry them over until they have established a reputation. My response was, yep, for sure. A lot of people struggle with lack of capital, including myself. I built my Avon business with a $10 investment. I opened my REI secret weapon with a $5,000 investment. I opened the real estate company with the equity in my home. And I'm about to open a travel agency for the disabled with about $700. So I hope you guys are enjoying the homework. We're getting there. I know it's slow going, but this is a lifestyle change, not a consumption material. Several of you have asked how you can bless me for taking the time to do this and bring this content to you, make it easier for you to consume, and give you a guided journey through the homework. So if you'd like to send me anything by PayPal or Venmo, you can text me at 502-876-7078, and I can share that information with you. And of course, if you run into me and want to slide me some cash, buy me a cocktail, buy me a food or dinner, whatever, I'm down. All right, guys, to your success, to my success, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Let's keep it moving.